Fear the Walking Dead Season 4. Excuse me. So when I heard that Fear the Walking Dead Season 4 would be going in a brand new direction, I was extremely worried. Dave Erickson, the old showrunner, departed after the Season 3 finale, and once again, I was extremely worried. So last night, part of this big event that The Walking Dead was holding, we got The Walking Dead Season 8 finale, which I thought sucked. I thought it was a really, really rushed, terrible episode. But Fear the Walking Dead, however, I pretty much enjoyed. Now, it's not a completely flawless premiere, but I think this episode is really, really good, and my whole family said it was much better than The Walking Dead. And of course, it's once again kicking Walking Dead in the balls. This episode was fantastic. I enjoyed the new characters like John Dory and Althea. These characters, along with Morgan, made this episode an adventure. These three, the trio, could lead an entire series. Even my grandmother, Oma Jelaine, loved these characters. She normally wasn't a fan of Fear the Walking Dead, but this episode got her attention, and she said it was her favorite Fear the Walking Dead episode. Everyone is just so fun to watch in this premiere. It's so suspenseful, and you get to see Morgan's journey from The Walking Dead to Fear the Walking Dead, and it's a big journey as well. The way they film his journey is amazing. So let's talk about, this is a new segment I will have on my Fear the Walking Dead videos. It's called Things I Like and Things I Don't Like. I'm going to talk about the things I like first, and I'm going to talk about the cinematography, the score, the directing, the writing. All of this is so fantastic in this episode. I loved all of it. I loved the action, the performances. Almost everything in this episode kicked Walking Dead Season 8's butt. It was that good. So everything I liked was all of that, and it continued the storyline very, very well, and I thought this was a pretty cool premiere. And, you know, I forgive them for just shoving Morgan in there and not showing the Fear the Walking Dead characters, because if they hadn't have done this, Fear the Walking Dead would probably be dead now. So they had to do this, and I don't blame them. The show, would I rather have my favorite show, Fear the Walking Dead, die, or would I, let them take this risk and bring back the viewers? I would let them take this risk, and I think they pulled it off pretty well. And the things I like is Morgan. He's not as cartoony as he was in The Walking Dead, and I think that's down to just he's more able to breathe in this episode, in Fear. He feels like he's a fleshed out character, when in The Walking Dead he was pushed to the side when everyone else was developing. It just felt like he was just written poorly in The Walking Dead because he wasn't really focused on as much as he should have been. However, in this episode, he was the main focus, and you really felt that. Morgan, while he had the stick, he felt more human than ever before since, Season 3 on The Walking Dead. So, yeah, Morgan, Lindy James was a blast to watch, and I loved it. John is awesome. The candy-eating gunslinger was fantastic. And I thought that the showrunners would really screw up this show, like the writing, the way everything feels. It has a different look compared to the other seasons of Fear the Walking Dead, but I feel like the showrunners, they captured the spirit of Fear the Walking Dead while kind of adding something new. Okay, so yeah, all of that, and I also enjoy the reveal at the end that the Fear the Walking Dead characters, they come out and they capture our new group. They capture John, Althea, and Morgan. So that was really shocking, and I did not see that coming, and that was really, really cool. So now let's go on to things I didn't like, and there's very little things I didn't like. Let's talk about, so things I didn't like. The beginning at the junkyard with Morgan. This whole scene felt out of place. Parts of me feels like this was filmed for Season 8, the finale, but they had no time to put it at the end, so they cut it and put it in Fear the Walking Dead. This scene has nothing really to do with the rest of the episode. It feels out of place, it feels like it belongs in The Walking Dead Season 8 and not in Fear the Walking Dead. Because right after this scene, the quality picks up drastically. And we just never think about that scene again because the episode just keeps going and going and going, and it becomes freaking awesome. After the junkyard scene, I was like, okay, this is Fear the Walking Dead. But when I saw the junkyard scene, it fell off, and I was really worried when I was watching that scene. I thought Fear the Walking Dead would be dead. I was texting my brother, I'm like, Oliver, I don't really like this. But that wasn't until after the junkyard scene, themes started picking up, and I loved this episode. When I go back and watch this episode, I will probably pass for the junkyard scene because it was that bad. It felt like it was completely ripped from The Walking Dead Season 8. Even the writing felt like it was from The Walking Dead Season 8. The writing in the rest of Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, the premiere, felt nothing like the junkyard scene. So that's why the junkyard scene just felt really off, in my opinion. And it's one of the weakest parts in the episode. Another thing that is a nitpicky thing has to be the grayscale. And it's not a big flaw. It's not a big nitpick because we don't really know why they're showing the grayscale yet. But I think as we keep watching the rest of the season, we will understand why the grayscale was being used. And I don't have a problem with this. If they use it effectively and they use it the right way like they did in this episode, I don't have a problem with it. However, in The Walking Dead Season 6, the black and white got on my nerves. It started... If you don't like the black and white stuff, it might get on your nerves by the end of this episode because the whole episode's kind of like gray. That's just a nitpicky thing, and it doesn't really bother me. I actually really enjoyed the color because it just made things so much more unique, and it worked for what it was. And I want to see why they're using this color. I want to see what it's used for. So yeah, I hope it works. Ladies and gentlemen, so yeah, let's talk about the Fear the Walking Dead characters. Oh, one more thing that I didn't like and sort of did like, so it kind of in the middle, is the new intro. So they said Fear the Walking Dead Season 4 is a complete reboot, and it shows here. I thought the intro was pretty fun. I got a Z Nation vibe. However, my brother Oliver wanted the old intro back. You know, it was like, Dang! And I understand. And, I really enjoy the old intro. However, parts of me just feels like the old intro wouldn't fit here, and that the new intro fits better. I don't know. And let's talk about one more thing I loved was the score. I'm not the only part where the score sucked was in the junkyard scene, and I think because it was taken from The Walking Dead Season 8. The rest of the score in this episode was amazing. I love the guy who does the score for Fear the Walking Dead so much better than the guy who does the score for The Walking Dead. It just has that more. It has that more tech noir theme, you know, that kind of like a, I don't know, computer, you know, technology theme, like like that. You know what I mean? And I enjoyed it. So Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, the premiere, is off to a great start. There are a couple problems like the junkyard scene, and that's it. That's about it, ladies and gentlemen. The rest of the episode is great. When you get introduced to these new characters, when you see the cinematography, the way everything's filmed, it is beautiful. Let's talk about that action scene as well. The action scene was so much better than anything we saw in All Out War. I mean, this felt like real action. This felt like real people shooting at each other. When Morgan throws the grenade, it was intense. And I can tell the showrunners are trying to make Fear the Walking Dead Season 4 as much realistic as possible, and I just want to congratulate them. They made a darn good episode. Now, I can't wait for episode 2, and this episode was fun. The writing, the style was fantastic, and I hope you enjoyed this episode, everyone, as much as I did. There are some problems. I wish we could have seen the Fear the Walking Dead group more, but nevertheless, it's a great episode, and I rate this episode a solid A. I'll just say an A+. That's how much I enjoy. No, I'll just say an A. Okay, it got an A. That's how good this episode was. It's very hard to give an episode an A+, so I'll give this episode an A. It's great. What do you think of Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 1? Let me know down in the comments below. I love the action. I love the new characters. I love the writing. It just feels so much more realistic. It's fun. It's not dumb and stupid like The Walking Dead. The only thing that I hated in this episode, the only scene that I hated was the junkyard scene. The rest was near perfection. perfection. So I hope you enjoyed my review. Leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to whatever the heck you want to do, and goodbye. Bye, everyone.